episode 79. This is Lego, and I've got with me the whole crew, Hove, Mana, Triton, and our special guest from Team Resolute this week. We've got RiverTamKat and Darth Loki. Thank you for joining us.
Yay!
How's it going, guys?
It's good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, I am doing fantastic with this new update. What about you, Hove? Mana, Triton, are you guys enjoying it?
I love the update. I actually got Mana to play with me. He played Destiny 2 with me, like an hour, 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
He only complained after the first game.
It was just the first one was rough.
Okay. We went into quick play. I was like, we'll go into quick play, warm up. You know, we got shit on.
It was bad.
We got obliterated.
And then we went into comp, and I think we had one close game, but I think the other like 3 games we shit on everybody else. So I don't really know.
What?
Yeah.
It was very
Man
weird.
was like, I'm really bad at this game.
It was only the first one. Because, like, the first one is like, it kind of, I was like, dude, guys, I'm trash. And then the first game happened, and I'm just like, you know?
Well, what I did, though, since, 9 times out of 10, and by 9 times out of 10, I mean like 999,999 out of a million, Mana's going to beat me in any Destiny-related game, right?
Except for this moment in history right now, right?
Well, no. So what,
how many did you say?
So it's a lot. Don't worry. So what I did is every game that I beat him, like that I had a higher like KD than him, I screenshotted it, but I'm not posting them. So like I'm gonna wait till he's back and like killing it again.
Till he's like really good.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna be like played with Mana Day, beat him this game, beat him this game, beat him this game, beat him this game, and everyone's gonna believe me. And even if they don't, it doesn't really matter because I'm a big believer in solipsism, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, interesting.
Does that work, Triton? Does that work?
Like a very weird word.
Does that work? Is that right?
I'm impressed with your vocabulary.
We need a bell.
Wait, because I don't know if this is right or not. Solipsism is the philosophical idea that only one's own mind exists. So it doesn't fucking matter what you guys think, because only my mind exists. That's what I was
Hove, that's a perfect word for Hove.
I know, right?
Yeah, I figured that's where Triton was going.
PSN gamer tag for it.
So that was pretty good, right? That worked.
Yeah, Triton gave you the thumbs up.
Yeah, because he described it as being in himself. So a lot of people describe it or use it like in the context of solitude and things like that. So if it's just Hove himself, then yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm
it's good.
I looked it up so that way I could have a little it would give this conversation a little verisimilitude.
Wow, he's just going all in.
Those two,
right up front.
Those two went together so well. I had to
just trying to get him right out of the way.
So what was that second one?
It's verisimilitude. It's the appearance of being true or real. So like Triton gave Mindy lots of verisimilitude. Even though she did not exist, she had the appearance of being true or real.
Oh wow!
Like an escort from the other.
Like your escort.
I don't know. But okay, so those who are listening who have no idea what's going on, we decided to play a little game. What was the final answer? Do we have a final answer?
We don't. We can vote on it. The original term, what we did is I sent 3 words or small phrases to everybody on the podcast, and I had Triton send me 3, and we have to work them into the podcast without anyone knowing. Now, Triton's 2 or 3, his 3 words for me, I had to look up. So I had to ask after I used them. They were solipsism and verisimilitude. So, I don't know. But our choices were word insertion or conversation penetration.
Oh, conversation penetration.
Yeah, the latter is really good.
All about really?
Number
See,
2.
I feel like the word insertion has like it's a ring, I don't know.
I feel like Lego's
word
just trying to stay
but...
away from the other one is what I think. Like...
No, it's good to see what rhymes.
I mean, insertion and penetration are kind of the same thing, but
I feel
there's just something about penetration.
I feel like penetration, you generally you're talking about one specific place. When you're saying insertion, it sounds like you're putting it somewhere it's not really supposed to go.
It's definitely less bumpy. I'll give it that.
So, I got 2 of my words out of the way. That's all that matters.
Ding!
I was really tempted to try to add one of mine in this conversation, but I don't think it can.
It would have worked.
It
would have worked with Lego's escort one.
But I was really tempted to attempt. But yeah. It was. Let's just move on.
Okay,
We're just moving on.
Conversation penetration.
So we've got a lot of things going on right now, Destiny-wise. We had this huge patch come out. Loki, River, did y'all get a chance to play it at all yet?
We
Yes.
certainly did. Yeah, played quite a bit. So
Yeah. So,
Well, before like we even get to that, I should ask, like where are you guys at with Destiny, or even before any of that? You guys haven't been on the show before.
You're being a
River
bad
and
host.
Loki. Well, there's so much going on that I'm deciding what I want to jump to first, but I feel like everybody needs to get to know you a little bit. So, River, Loki, what is like y'all's place in the Destiny community? You feel like, wow, how do you fit into Resolute and the whole gang,
yeah, I'll try to condense it a little bit. So we got into Destiny right off the bat, right with the beta, like back in the old days. It was my first like real good like run and gun type of shooter game. I was always like an RPG type of girl, and so my first time like running around with an auto rifle was like all over the place. So it was a learning experience for the two of us to be able to play together and not get frustrated with myself and then him get frustrated with me. But we got into it because it was like, oh my God, we can play this game together and play it co-op, and it's a lot of fun. And we found some friends to play with, found some community, got into the raids, and we were definitely like addicted, myself all the way up until like probably the end of Crota. But I love my single player games, and I kind of like dropped off and then came back. I became more casual like early on in the game. I think we were Xbox mains, and he was like, well, I've got a PS4. I'm going to get on PS4 and play with the PS4 side of our clan. So he went over and did the whole thing with PS4. So he was dual systeming for quite a while. And so we did that. I think a lot of the people that we played with, though, really dropped off at the end of Destiny 1. And we got to know how we fit in with Rezo. We got to know Tinks really well. I don't know if you listen, well, I don't know. She's stayed on our futon a couple times. Let's put it that way. So I like to think that in repayment for letting her like her and her boyfriend stay on our futon, we got let into Rezo. I think there was a comment that Wilson said last week about like a duo that like were a twofer, and they just had. I was like, that has to be us.
Yeah,
So-
River got in and I tagged him pretty much.
So I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. But it's Destiny 2 came out and we hit the ground running, and unfortunately, like kind of the brakes kind of stalled a little quicker than they did with Destiny 1. But it's been
yeah, Destiny's always been a fun game for us,
Yeah.
but it's been more about the community. And it's the first game that ever really introduced us to a gaming community,
that's
and
true.
we never realized just how broad it could
That's
be.
true.
And I had, I wasn't even on Twitter when Destiny dropped, so I pretty much jumped on Twitter because all my gaming friends were on Twitter. I was like, okay, why not?
Yeah.
And now it's this, I'm on Twitter constantly now, and that's where all my friends are. I spend more time on Twitter than I do on Facebook, and the community aspect of the game has been the most amazing just revelation for us. And I always looked up to Rezo, even when I was an Xbox guy. Like watching the Holy Trinity do trials every Friday was like my highlight, and I was always just a lurker. And so I finally
Mana just nods. It's like,
All right, it's kind of like the Avengers question.
He just
Which
nods
member of
silently.
the Holy Trinity is Mana? Is he like the Virgin Mary? Is she one of them? No, she's not.
That's-
She's
no,
not.
that's not one of
Yeah,
them.
she's not.
That's not
Definitely
Wow,
not.
I am just flabbergasted by how bad you visit this.
Ding, ding, ding.
But
Oh, well,
now that I'm off track, getting into Rezo was something we never even thought of like a possibility like a couple years ago, just because we always looked up to them as such a fun clan, and all the interaction and just the close-knit family that we just absolutely loved. So it's an honor being a part of that now.
And now you realize it's more like a dysfunctional family with lots of crazy uncles that aren't allowed at family get-togethers.
And like it's mostly just like a bunch of like
Filled with
things,
only crazy uncle.
which we fit right in with Lundas.
Alcohol, video games, and dick jokes. I mean,
True. I actually thought River and Tinks were related. So I thought you guys were sisters. I feel like I said that once on our podcast, either before or after. We were talking about the new people. I'm like,
I think mentality. I think mentality probably are quite a lot.
Them two together is dangerous. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
the vodka flows like wine.
Just so you know, you guys should be. Tinks made an appearance last week, so if she doesn't for your episode this week, you need to give her hell. Just saying.
Well, she did on Twitter earlier, so
right.
I know she's a busy gal.
That's like partial. Well, with you guys, what you mentioned earlier, you know, you're mainly like a story person, River, with RPG stuff.
Yes.
What aspect of Destiny like kind of like drew you in? Was it like single player stuff, and then you realized there was community, and that kind of drew you in a different direction? Or what parts of the game do you like playing the most?
Actually, it's interesting. What drew me right off the bat was patrolling. It's like the stupidest thing.
Really?
Yes, but I was like, oh my god, I'm in this world where I would normally in like a single player game, you'd be in that world by yourself, going and picking up and doing the things. And I'm like, I'm in this world, and it was, I think, the first public event that hit in a beta, and everyone was like trying to like do this public event. That's what really drew me. I was like, oh my god, here's this game where all these people can be drawn together to do this one thing, and we're not even talking to them. We're talking to each other, maybe listening to music in the background, but we're doing it together. But there's other people that have like been drawn in to do it. I fell in love with that. So
yeah, I will never forget the first public event, then that beta. It was like the coolest thing in the world. The sky going dark and the ghost going, what was that?
Yeah, and that
Think about it.
What is this?
Yeah, and so I think that ran through with the feeling of like the excitement that you get from like completing raids, and we can get into it a little later. I think what dropped off for me a bit was the fact that completing raids now doesn't really mean the same thing that completing raids did back in the beginning of D1. So, yeah.
I think
Loki, is it the same answer for you? Like as far as like the things that you enjoyed and sucked you in, and also, you know, River said RPGs were her main thing. Was that you too, or did you have a different background?
My background was kind of all over the place. A lot of action adventure games, but also first-person shooters. I was a huge Halo, Gears of War fan, so you know, jumping into Destiny was really easy. But we were always looking for co-op games because we are a gaming couple, and that's what we do. And you know, when we had a lot of fun in the beta, we were like, okay, wow, this is something we can really, you know, sink our teeth into, and it is, I'm not gonna lie, Destiny changed our lives.
Really
just from a social aspect, and us, you know, being able to game together pretty much whenever we want, and you know, we can run strikes, we can just run patrols, and the community has been huge. I mean, I have so many like in real life friends now that I just met just because of Destiny, which I cannot say about any other video game.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like even, and we talk about this almost every week, but even with the way D2 has gone, like all of those friendships, like staying together, even those who are still in the game or not, like they still find either other games to play or are trying to bring their friends back to play every new patch or whatever, you know, just to hang out together if they're not already hanging out together in real life and stuff like that. So it's really cool to keep hearing stories like that. And for y'all as a couple, like being able to play together like a game that y'all both love, like, is really cool too.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you brought your lady friend from the hotel on for one episode, Lego.
She's too busy with her donkey.
About,
Let's leave it alone.
I'm sorry, what?
What was this Saren, what was your word, Hove? Is that what this? That's what this is.
Solipsism or verisimilitude?
Stop being a weed killer, Hove.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Maybe.
I heard donkey in there, but I didn't hear how you used it.
By the way, is it just me, or is Lego saying y'all a bit more than normal this episode?
I don't know. I think he's.
I'm picking up on it. I swear he has never said y'all as much as he already has. Like
maybe because it's two of us, and so he's trying to talk to you.
Oh yeah.
That was so random. I thought you were like going on a tangent to get one of your words in, and you didn't.
Me too. I was like,
I thought, man, I was like, I gotta use one now. I'm behind.
Not this time. Well, have any of you guys used?
I used two of mine.
Yeah, we've used them.
I used one.
I know you
right off the bat.
You've used
Wait, you got all three?
You've used three? What?
Did Hope was
Oh,
being
they
such a
won.
weed killer,
Yeah.
and Lego's girl is off with her donkey. So like, I don't know what. This is gonna be a bumpy
Kinky
ride,
Kelly.
guys. I
Boy.
mean, I'll just use it again.
Oh,
Okay,
Bumpy.
I
I,
gotta
forgot
jump
Bumpy
in
was
here
one of them. When you
sometime.
said Bumpy to me before, I was like, I don't really know how that word fits here. And now I know why. All right.
That's an easy word. You can use bumpy like
I
a lot
didn't
of.
start this till like 10
It's
till.
an adjective. It's
That would be fun in Mad Libs.
Oh, don't worry. There's Mad Libs
Ah.
later too.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Hey,
So,
2.5 hours.
yeah, if you haven't been listening to the end of episodes, we do Mad Libs at the end. So hang on.
See how
But
happy Lego is to say that too. He's so
I
happy.
get requests. I've been
Actually,
streaming almost every
last
day,
week,
and I get at least one request in chat to do like that they love the Mad Libs and we need to do more Mad Libs. Also, I've been getting requests to have Mia Khalifa on the podcast, but
By you?
no, see, I swear to
You've
God,
been requesting that?
someone DM'd me.
yeah, it's
Someone DM'd me on
basically
Twitter
Hove
And Monk.
and Monk.
and Sweep and Dewey.
And that's it.
Maybe not Dewey, but Dewey will back me up on that one. And Triton.
Well, now that we've gotten to know you two a little bit, I want to hear about the rest of the guys' weeks too. But before we do that, I just wanted to jump in because it's mainly about the patch stuff going on this week. And so, where are you guys at with Destiny 2 right now? And like, how does the patch affect you guys now that you played it a little bit? Where are you guys at with everything? With
Well,
D2,
being more PvE focused, I like it a lot. I think the improvements really help in the movement speed, just makes it more fun, but it really is I think the super regen rate is just enormous. You can really tell it makes like parts where I'm usually saving my super for. I feel like I don't need to, in the past when I was doing that. And also just running around doing patrols, you can really tell. Also, the super regen is very prevalent in PvP because before you're getting one super a game, unless you're having an amazing game. Every once in a while, I mean, it'd be rare you get two. But now I'm getting 2, sometimes 3, and it makes a big difference in that aspect. But I'm still gonna say it. It's more fun to play, but being like somebody that has pretty much 300 hours into the game and all characters maxed and all exotics, I still need content.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the one thing I feel like is like content stuff, because I feel the same way about a lot of different stuff. I'm like, oh, I really like this, and I really like this, and I really like this, but there's not
To be
like
fair,
the.
I don't
if
think
you,
it's content per se. It's reasons to do said content, right?
Yes.
yeah, loot basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, or emblems or
Grind.
some sort of reward, some sort of carrot for.
I do
doing
like
it.
I do
Yeah.
like
Right.
Sort of
carrots.
grind to pursue.
Seriously, I like carrots.
River,
What is that?
are
What
you
doing?
Uh,
He's doing something.
I tried out the update as well. I did not venture into PvP at all. I'm sorry. I was going to, and I'm not a PvP gal. But I did actually make an effort to get away from my standard scout and auto rifle build. So I found a pulse that I actually really love. It's one of the
Which
Forge
one is it?
pulses. It's called the Machina Day 4.
yeah.
It's from the Forge thing, which I'm almost done doing. I just need like a gazillion more strikes or crucible matches. I know I'm on my last one, but it's really crisp. It's really stable. It almost reminds me of a little bit like hopscotch, which I really liked hopscotch at the end. It's a stable. He doesn't think so because he really loved hopscotch as well. It's not as fast firing as hopscotch, but it hits harder, and it's super stable. So I've been having a lot of fun with it in PvE.
Is that the one, that pulse rifle? Is that the one that looks like the Stranger's rifle, kind of? Like,
Yeah, it's got like tubes running all through it and
Uh-huh.
stuff. Yeah. Actually, a lot of the Forge weapons look like that. They kind of have like a
They got the Vex milk running through them.
yeah.
I didn't think about that. Never mind.
But I didn't look up which prophecy it is that you get that one from. I'm sorry, I'm a little slacking on that. But I ran around with that, and I purposely ran around with my Hunter and Arcstrider just to see what the differences in Arcstrider felt like. And it definitely felt faster. Like, he saw me going across the map on one of, I forget what we were doing. He's like, oh my God, you are flying. And like, I could definitely feel like it was a lot faster. So I enjoy it. But like he said, is it enough to bring me back to make it a daily habit? Not yet. I think what made it a daily habit for me in the past was either I could run bounties to help level up some crappy guns that I still had sitting in my inventory, and I would just, let me put on this exotic and level it up that I've never played. At least I'm leveling it up. Or also, there's still some more like Grimoire stuff that I can like help level up. So like, we were always Grimoire sword chasers. So that was always a big thing for us. So is it a good update? Yes. Is it enough to bring me back to want to pick it up and play it every day? Not quite yet.
Yeah. What about the rest of you guys? How are y'all feeling about the update? I know it's a lot to jump into, but Hove, initial impressions, go.
Good. It's I actually haven't touched PvE at all, I don't think. I've been loving PvP. I mean, it's not like, nothing about it is like super drastic. Do you know what I mean? Like, nothing was like this huge change, I don't think, but everything kind of put together with the movement speed, some of the super changes, some of the weapon changes. Hand cannons, the old-fashioned feels fantastic. I still don't care for better levels, but old-fashioned feels really, really good. I mean, it's still a 4-tap, but it's...
Do any of y'all have the Dire Promise, the Dead Orbit one?
Lame.
Oh, dude, that one's my favorite.
Isn't that pretty much a reskin of Old Fashioned?
It is, but for some reason it feels more crispy to me. Like, I like the way it feels over the Old Fashioned for some reason.
I used to have one, but yeah, I was like, it's kind of dookie, so
even though it's still a 4-tap, which sucks, it feels like the shots and landing shots feels as close to D1 hand cannons as hand cannons have felt, I think. And the one thing that I was surprised about that we've talked about on here since they announced it, I always thought the no radar comp playlist in Countdown would work well, and I was worried about survival. I have seen no issues with that. Well, very, very, very few issues with like people camping and survival without the objective. I absolutely love the competitive playlist right now. It is the most fun I've had in Destiny 2 PvP by a mile. Well, besides maybe Mayhem.
Yeah,
but
I was
it
gonna
also,
say.
the thing that really stands out to me, and this is even before we get into like trials, it's the closest I've felt to, and I don't mean the game itself, like the game mode and the play feels like D1 trials, but the way it like makes me feel and the way it makes me want to play and the adrenaline and the emotion for it, it's the closest PvP experience to D1 trials, I think. Like early D1 trials when everyone was really excited and like you wanted to win and it was like call outs and people were really into it. That's the closest I've felt to that.
Dude.
I love it. I really, really do.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was feeling about it too, because I went into this patch totally in for Rumble. Like, I was like, this is it. I've been waiting for Rumble this whole time. You know, I'm excited about going fast and all this other stuff, but I just want Rumble back because that was like my playlist that I played all the time because it was like solely dependent on me. I didn't have to like, no one was like, you know, depending on me. And so if I messed up, it was a big deal. It's just me, my own mistakes, my own success, you know? And so I was so excited for that. And then I tried it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so different kind of Rumble. And I was not prepared for the way it felt at first. And so I backed out of it and started playing with like Fatebringer and some other people. And we went into comp and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It was the first day. Yeah, that was you the first day, was it? I can't remember. But yeah, the comp was just, no, it wasn't you because I played with you afterwards. I played it without you first, so that's what I'm talking about. But comp like was what drew me in more than Rumble, and that surprised me big time. I was like, what? Why do I like this playlist more than Rumble? That's insane, you know. And now that I've played Rumble a little more, it's still my favorite. I just had some adjusting to do, but I really like comp, and I felt the exact same thing you felt about like it feeling like that old. Not that it plays like Trials, but it gave me that feeling that I was missing from Destiny competitive, and so I'm really excited about that. Sorry, I went on a little tangent. I'm excited to hear what Mana and Triton think too.
Well, we did have a good time in the PvP. For 3/4 of RezoCast hosts were there, just not a couple hours ago. I don't know which member wasn't there. Now that I think about it,
really wanted to be there.
So the rest of us played, and as Ho was mentioning callouts, so we played survival and on the new Burning Shrine map, and we had like the world's shittiest callout. I think Mana gave us an up and over.
Hey,
on
whoa,
one of them.
okay,
Like, he just went up and over.
you guys understood.
We understood it, so we had the worst call-outs ever, but we all understood what we meant about he's behind you, or he just jumped, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, that must mean over here he jumped, or up and over is all like the rotating things, so we all immediately descended into the middle. So
it was the one that you guys weren't near, like jumping up and over. That one over there. Also, I also said there's a couple to the left, and you guys actually turned to the left towards them. I was like, whoo.
It worked out. So, and it was fun. I think for me, the biggest thing, and I've talked about like D2, maybe not. When we talked a little bit about community and hearing Loki and River's story about how they kind of came together, and it's so awesome to hear about like we became part of this community. And I got on Twitter to do these things, and I wanted to dive in and do more. D2 doesn't really support that from the ground up. It's almost like the incumbent players that come over. So the fact that a lot of people came back for this, I got to play with Mana for the first time in 2018, and then also played with Ho recently. So the fact that we all got to play together and people came back is the biggest thing for me. So I didn't really notice a ton of the changes, especially in that first game where we got absolutely just perp stomped as terrible.
I think that might be the first time I've played the Destiny franchise with Mana where I didn't win a raffle or we weren't playing each other in a tournament.
Playing each other in tournament. Oh my God.
Yeah. Other than that, sadly, I think he's correct.
But that's what brought
Mana,
me.
what did you? So. I'm really curious about what Mana thinks about it. Jumping in from like, I can't remember. You played something else, doubles, I think, but
I played the Crimson duos for that one day. I played the laser tag trials that.
Oh yeah, you were really into that.
Or Saturday. I think I played a couple days. That was actually really fun. But so I only have maybe about like 6 hours tops, like maximum so far. So I don't have a lot of time yet in this. But I first jumped in. This was a terrible idea. I didn't think this through. This was all this morning. I went from Fortnite over to Destiny, and I forgot Fortnite's at 60 frames. And
oh no!
First of all, I thought I was going blind, and then I forgot how rusty I was, and I didn't realize how fast-paced Rumble was. So I'm like, what is going on? I'm just getting a huge Taco Bell shit taken on me, and
worst.
Ding.
Shit wasn't part of it.
Taco Bell.
Nice.
But seriously, it was bad. I haven't gone back to Rumble yet, but so I was playing solos, quick play, and I was like, it was a hit or miss for me. But I was by myself. I was still getting used to it. One thing for sure.
I'm just thinking about the rest of your words.
Believe me, you have no idea how badly they're running through my head to try to implement them. But,
Man, I got the worst ones, by the way.
What was I saying? It's just like, I'll figure it out. But it was a hit or miss. Like, one thing for sure, the speed ups it's pretty noticeable, especially since I was playing Dongblade when I first jumped in.
Oh yeah, God yeah.
0 to 100. I literally, the first few times I've used it, I passed the person I was chasing and I couldn't find him. Like, I flew past him. I'm just like, where? Like, what happened?
Yeah, it's almost
and
like whenever you pop your super as a Dongblade, it's like you put on a pair of PF flyers and take off, and they're running barefoot with a bunch of toe jam, right?
Got it. Yeah, the increase in with burst glide.
Yeah, burst glide. Yep.
Is unbelievable. It's the biggest, I feel like, change in the entire, at least class base of
it's
all
crazy.
of that.
I agree. You
was
get up
insane.
and go.
I hated running a warlock in pretty much anything because you just felt so slow. You just felt like you were like gliding through mud.
Yeah, you're floofing around. I used to have worse ways of describing that, but yeah, it's just like I used to hate warlock just because of their jump. I used to love hunter just because the double jump just felt so nice.
Yeah,
and I just became a bad person year 3. That D1 with Titan. I became. I literally became the bad guy, but it's just like I've flown off a cliff a couple times already today because I get aggravated past the guy I'm trying to kill. I think it was a Titan on what's that the Iron Temple? What's that map called? Vostok.
Yeah.
He was up on the top like area, like the main fortress area, and he was just floofing around me. Went around, so I'm like, you little. So I bursted towards him, just flung myself off the cliff. Just like I'm like, yep, I did that. While getting shot at, dude. Like his teammates are shooting at me, floofing, like zigzagging back and forth, trying to kill him. So I could have gone for
like
them.
jumping back and forth.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's just like, and since you're so fast, I'm not used to it yet. I'm not used to. I had to actually.
That's
crank
how
up my
I'm trying to set
sensitivity.
you up here, man.
I had to crank up
I'm trying to
my
help you with these
sensitivity.
words.
Dude, you gotta give it some time.
You are seriously so fast in the warlock, like even just the normal before you're in your super, just the normal jump is so much faster than it used to be that I wasn't prepared for it, and I tried it out and I was like, this is gonna take some getting used to. I can't play this with other people. Like I'm gonna have to go in on my own PvE or something because I just can't like take the way you jump right now.
You just get up and going, kind of like surprise fellatio.
I'm gonna have to switch soon then, because it seems like if you're like there was a bunch of arc striders today, and then you're mentioning Dongblade now is going super fast, so it's like people are able to basically pop their supers now, like they're Popeye the Sailor Man, and go like running across the map and kill everybody. And I used Golden Gun, and it was terrible. Yeah, I don't think I killed one person in the 4 or 5 games that we used.
I'm sorry, dude. Vanna, did you say something about surprise fellatio?
You just get up and going, man.
She was not paying attention. She missed it.
My savior.
Just adding that in there.
Oh my god.
I mean, I would say this. I was watching TV a lot this week, and he was pretty much primarily running Dongblade. And we used to really, when we raided a lot, we hated running Warlock because it was like trying to run through a spittoon. And it was just slow as fuck. And like, especially in the circle part, which I can't remember because it's been that long since I've raided, the gauntlet, I think it is.
Oh, the gauntlet. That was the worst.
Like I could rarely make it through without dying because my Warlock was so slow, because your gear stats are based on what, speed is, like mobility is almost impossible to get as a Warlock. And now I'm like, wow, I almost kind of want to raid under a Warlock because I feel like it might be fun.
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised. I was just saying to him, I was like, I usually main a Warlock, and I purposely wasn't playing a Warlock because I've been trying to get to 335 on all characters, and then 335 was my main. Now I'm like, fuck, I should have gone and played Warlock and tried out this new jump. I'm an idiot.
Well, now's your chance.
I'm gonna go do that after this episode. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
I know. That's what I need to go do. Practice my Warlock now, my Warlock skills, and actually get good at it. I did have fun playing, a lot of fun playing Striker, and the way that it works out. I wish that, did y'all see the people Titan skating on PC? You can't do it on a console, but you can, like, if you set your jump to, like, your mouse scroll wheel, you can basically trick, I don't know if it's like tricking the game, but you can set it up to where you can Titan skate as fast as when you run in a wall, you kill yourself. So it's really, really fast, but you can't do it on console, but you can do a lot of other, like, it still feels good playing a Titan, like just as good as it did before. And I don't feel like, I don't know, slower or anything like that, even with other classes, supers moved up.
I will say with the Titan, I noticeably felt the shoulder charge a lot more for some reason.
Yes.
Like I was just like slightly running, and all of a sudden, boom, like sploosh, like killed somebody. It was like, I was like,
Sploosh is not one of the words.
Yeah.
I need to try
That
it out.
wasn't even a word. I know.
Okay. That's not I called it.
But we're all so suspicious now.
I'm sorry.
I really thought that was one of them. I do really need to try out the Titan shoulder charge because when that got nerfed, I started running all the other sub trees that didn't have the shoulder charge because I just got used to not needing it. But now I think I'm going to switch all my stuff back to use shoulder charge again because that mobility feels so good. So I'm excited to try that out again.
I do want to say that I know a lot of people have been saying how much they like the Titan Striker in PvP and with the speed increase, and I honestly don't feel it. With all the other classes getting the speed perks and bonuses, I don't feel like it caught up enough. Where when I was trying to run Striker in PvP, I was getting killed out of my super a lot. And granted, I don't have any masterworks that I'm running to negate that. It still felt like I couldn't catch up somebody. Like there was a Titan that was jumping backwards away from me faster than I could run to catch him. And that's just part of, I think, the increased overall speed. And I did the same thing to a bunch of Titan strikers as well, where they're running at me. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to kill you instead. Like, I'm just going to run backwards and shoot you.
I'm excited to try it out then, because I've been running Sunbreaker, and so I just throw hammers at people I can't catch. So I need to switch over to Striker and actually try it.
I had a lot more fun once I switched to Sunbreaker, to be honest, because I could actually kill people with my super.
I was trying to think if there were any other major like super changes to any of the classes, but I think Arcstrider is the biggest standout.
So, like, even to play against, they're so much faster. Like they pop that super and immediately like dodge, and they're like on top of you. It made a big difference.
One video, if you haven't like done any research into what is faster and what isn't with all the mobility changes, Fallout put out a video already that is like it has all the mobility changes, whether you're running or walking. And it's really surprising because actually running with any subclass, you don't go any faster no matter what your ability is, unless you're in your super, then it has changes, I think, depending on your mobility too. But walking speeds have like changed with mobility. So just like they clarified before.
Only affected walking speed.
Yes, it's what it's always been. But it was really interesting to watch this video because he compared the different supers and how fast they went now and what was fast and what wasn't. And so like for Blade Dancer, like it showed how whenever you're dodging, you go just as fast as when you're running, which is already increased. So you can dodge straight forward, and it's as fast as if you were running straight forward with the new Blade Dancer speed. So it just gives you a lot of mobility, even when you're dodging.
And
which is really
Marcus linked to that video you were talking about in chat for anyone who's here live. If you want to watch the video Lego's discussing, the link is right in chat.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great video. It's really interesting for like recognizing the speed changes.
Faux show.
For show.
I'm trying to think, what about guns for you guys? Because we were talking about some pulse rifles earlier. That's been the biggest thing for me. And I think, when you read the patch notes, you can kind of see, whoa, they buffed all the pulse rifles, pretty much every archetype. And I've really been feeling the higher damage ones, like Swift Ride, all the Suros. Pulse rifles all feel really good, and so does what's the exotic
Vigilance Wing? Vigilance Wing might get a adjustment.
The new meta.
Yeah, it's good.
Dude,
you know what? I was using it.
Yeah,
it is really good if you hit your shots. Like it is the best like exotic right now if you hit your shots. Yeah. But it also kicks a lot. So it is not easy to get that second burst, with crits and everything. And I think a lot of people are getting a lot of damage done. And then if somebody else even hits them once, they're dead.
Well,
yeah,
because you're getting so many hits on that. But if you have to fire 3 bursts, you're going to lose to a lot of other guns.
I think that's why the pulse rifle buff helped it so much, though, because one of the big things, right, was that they upped the base damage and cut down the precision damage, right? So that way they cut down the precision multiplier. So the precision damage stayed about the same, and your body shots are now more powerful. So with a gun like that, where with five bullets, you're not going to hit 5 headshots, it actually got a damage increase. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it got like pretty much a straight damage increase on 5 rounds. So, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You have to hit the shots, but it is nice that you don't have to hit 5 headshots, which is impossible. So.
Which I feel like, no, that's what an exotic should be, though. An exotic should be, if you use this really well, you're going to do amazing with it.
Same.
And
yeah,
I feel like it is one of the best exotics in the game right now because of that, because it feels exotic.
It reminds me of Nerwin's Mercy, or Nerwin's what was that weapon from D1?
You're thinking that
Nerwin's
Trials.
Mercy,
So Nerwin's Mercy is one, but
The
then
Messenger
the Trials
was
one
the
that was
first one.
The Messenger?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it was
The
lower high
Messenger.
impact. No. Nerwin's was
Iron Banner.
It got when was it Iron Banner?
Yeah, it was
Because
fast
were
one,
you
I
able
thought.
to 3 or 2 tap? I don't know. People were saying it was too good, but you had to hit all your shots.
Yeah.
And when all the pulse rifles got that one terrible nerf, it was just no one ever used it anymore, because why use that when you can use faster shooting things? But I loved it. I would go into Rumble and I would just 2-tap people, or 2 or 3-tap. I can't remember I don't think it was 2-tap. I think it was like 3-tap or something. But it's just like when you hit all your shots, it felt so rewarding. That's what Vigilance Wing feels like right
when
now.
The Messenger first came out, it was that and Hopscotch, right? Before the adjustment were 2 bursts.
Yeah.
Love hopscotch.
I just got a dong blade thing to hopscotch.
But
I got a baby dong blade.
I like what you were saying with the like basically like greater reward for greater risk with that gun, because that's what I was running. A really fun combo that was like high risk, high reward for me was playing Vigilance Wing, and then because all sidearms got a buff too, the Last Hope archetype is also still really good and even better than it was before, which is crazy. So I was using it's the Traveler's something. It's one of the Osiris guns that is like the Last Hope. And I was using that along with Vigilance Wing. So up close, I had the sidearm, and then far away, the Vigilance Wing. And I was just destroying people. But if I missed on either of those, it was like really punishing because they were both pulse type guns.
Recently? Is it still that good? Because I was talking to Vita came into my chat today, and we were talking, and he was saying they changed it. They like added an extra frame to the burst, and he said it slowed it down enough that like it's made a difference. It's not as like OP as it was.
Is it just that gun, or is it that archetype that they did that to?
Man.
Okay, well, I don't know about the gun itself, but that archetype is still really good. I don't know about the Last Hope.
I asked you specifically if you used the Last Hope. And you said yes. So you're a liar.
I thought you meant
so
just
you're
like in the game.
So
I've
you're
used the Last Hope.
You're a liar.
You're a liar.
Not since the patch.
Liar.
But no, he said they added like an extra frame to the burst or something, so they kind of slowed it down a little bit. I don't know. But sidearms are good. I've been using in preparation. Actually, I didn't even know about this, but I've been using Drang a lot, and I really like it.
Oh, look at you.
Yes. Have you guys read the 12? Are we getting to the 12? I guess we're going to get there.
We're going to get there.
Right.
We'll get there.
I'll stop.
I'm trying to think. There were some other guns that I was really excited about.
What's your go-to loadout?
The
go-to loadout.
Well, I said one of mine, but the other one is I like using hand cannons with that Dire Promise and the Swift Ride, one of my favorite pulses right now, but also switching out the SMG, my Antiope is still really fun. And they did an interesting thing, and I didn't even notice it because they mentioned it, but I forgot. And then somebody said something about it while I was playing with them. They were like, "Do you notice the 1.5 like zoom in on that SMG now?" And I was like, "Oh, I forgot they did add that." But I actually like it because I like using that gun kind of at a little bit of a range. So it feels pretty good. I really like SMGs still. I like hand cannons. I like pulses. Fusion rifles still feel just as good, even though shotguns and snipers apparently got some buffs. I don't have a problem taking them out. So
I still need to get myself a good main ingredient. I've never got one ever.
That's what I've been running.
I never could get
FR4.
one, and I kind of just gave up on it.
that's my favorite. But main ingredient is very good. So
That's why I've been hearing do that. Actually, earlier today, I was getting some sniping clips that I've never I should actually go back and clip those, dude. I've gotten some good headshots. It's just what did they do to snipers? They didn't do much to snipers. Aim assist. Oh, then maybe that was it. Then yeah, aim assist. Something felt good. I haven't sniped since God, I don't know when, but earlier when I was in solos, it was just something clicked and I was doming people, and I was just like, "Chat, you guys are paying attention to this, right?" Like, please tell me you're paying attention. Dude, it felt good. It felt really good.
Back.
I know. I felt like I was like, "Yo, man."
You weren't just like flopping around all over the place, right? You weren't doing that anymore, right?
You're trying to help me.
Like some. Oh God, I'm trying so hard to help you out here, man.
It doesn't work like that. Like, you gotta make some sort of
conversation penetration.
He's an artist. He can't just like conjure up this thing. You know, artistry, like it takes time. You know, you got to be in the creative zone to use that word.
Yeah.
It's not no.
Yeah.
Here's something. No,
there were a few guns. There were a few guns that I. Go ahead, Mana. I'm cutting you off.
I was trying to say, during my sniping, though, the one thing that was scaring me the most that actually brought back really high-pitched squeals that a lot of people have been missing because I don't do that a lot anymore. That was Dark Staff. because they would just come around the corner
Arc
doing
staff things.
like, yeah, they're spinning around. High pitched squeals, kind of like noises that a dolphin would make. Kind of like, you can just call me Flipper the Dolphin at that point. And people in chat
really bad
called me out on the squeals coming back.
I'm not that drunk.
But no, I'm not even just putting that in to try to get this phrase out of the way. No, I had some really good squeals today, and it's been a while.
Yeah, I know. I had to like mute my fucking PC.
Yeah, a couple of you guys said
the owner was like handing out paychecks, and I got Mana squealing in the background. I can't blame that on just some
before you were able to hold your ground a lot of the time and kill like a super, kill a Arc Strider or whatever they're called. And it's just like, now I hold my ground and they're so I'm just like, you know, it's just like, shit, I can't do that anymore. By the way,
will say
Flipper the Dolphin was my phrase. It was so dumb.
They can't jump though. Still, blade dance. The arc staff. I'll jump in with the lion rampants, and I was watching one like blade dance around trying to dodge to still get me, but I just with the lion rampants just stay hanging up in the air, just waiting till they ran out, and I almost held out long enough until their super ran out, and then I fell and they killed me at the last second, unfortunately.
Do you have a problem hanging out long enough?
I mean, not
was for
typically, but
I'm reading chat. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Triton's
just frozen.
Triton's
happy I got all
cheating.
my
He's
phrases
just
out of the
typing
way.
his words in chat. That doesn't count.
Okay, I thought I only have one left, and I thought I would get bonus points for
Why? You
being
don't even have to work
putting
it
it in
into the
chat.
conversation.
Well, I mean, I did work it in the conversation based on what Rally was saying.
Hove, you can't
worst.
do that.
You've been voted off the island. Good job.
Voted off the island.
Were there any guns that you tried that you were disappointed in? Any of y'all? Like for me, there was. I know a lot of people were saying they really liked the Trials pulse rifle, but for me, it was.
Yes.
You do like, because for me, like I tried using it and the recoil was so much still that it like just felt too floppy. Like I just
even though the rate of fire was great,
You talking about the darkest before?
He just wanted to say floppy.
enough. Yeah, darkest before. Yes, the
darkest
kick is very
before.
floppy.
I was using that earlier with like.
You almost need a protractor to try to figure out where your next shot's gonna go.
Yes, because it like
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Impressive.
strange. I didn't know if I liked it, so I kept trying it with these guys, and I'm just like, I feel like I should take it off, but I feel like this could be good, so I didn't know what to do. You know, it's one of those things. It's like I really want to use it because it's making me angry.
yeah.
But for Nergal felt really good. Once I remembered that it was full auto, it felt even better. Just quick fire, because I'm so used to just that, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
And remembering that once I remembered it was full auto, it was wrecking face like it did in beta.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say positive outlook is still my go-to energy weapon. Even with the decreased aim assist, it is so good, and my masterwork has increased range. So it's like
I did get killed by it a lot.
It's so stable, and yeah, I can't find anything else that I'm nearly as comfortable with.
That's what I love about the update is that, they said they weren't going to bring stuff down. They're bringing stuff up to meet it. So all the things you loved are still good.
Yeah.
It's just other things are at that level too.
Yeah.
So on that point, I was going to say your question was like, have you guys had any weapons that you were disappointed in? And I was curious to try Nameless, because Nameless Midnight was like my go-to. It was a scout, and it used the high caliber rounds. And sorry. And I could not feel a difference. Like, I know they buffed a part of the scout to like nerf the high caliber rounds, and it still felt my same old Nameless. It didn't feel any worse or better. It still felt very comfortable and like it was doing its job. So I think they did a good job with that one.
My go-to PvE primary. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job with like you said, bringing everything up to where everything else should be, rather than taking everything down with a nerf. I didn't have any disappointments with the weapons I tried.
Nice. Yeah, on PvE stuff too. I was thinking about which one did they buff? They say they were gonna buff either Firefly or Dragonfly, like one of the perks that makes things explode.
Yeah.
Was it Firefly?
I don't know that Firefly is even
It's
that's not
it's Dragonfly now. Yeah.
Dragonfly. So
Yeah,
I used that one on a strike or something. I was just like playing. Oh, I was helping. I can't remember. I just went in and I was playing PvE and I was like, I need something that explodes to make this more fun for me. And so I specifically just found whatever gun had Dragonfly on it and started using that. And the explosions were pretty good. And I don't know, I did think the effect that they made on it, like it looks like bigger explosions now. And it just feels more fun to have more explosions in PvE. So I like that they added that. That's just like a little small change from the patch for PvE stuff that I really like.
Yeah, for sure.
What have they done to auto rifles, if anything? Do you remember?
They nerfed the range on those like on Positive Outlook and like Uriel's. The range is slightly nerfed, which it needed to be. I'm sorry, you shouldn't take an auto rifle and be able to hit someone like across the map, but they still feel like really good. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever had or used Perseverance at all. I kind of like in my panic of like, oh shit, what gun do I even use now? Because I haven't played in like 4 months, you know, I kind of just threw on Perseverance for my secondary, and I actually really like it for some reason. Like I barely used it before.
I mean,
and I don't know. I don't know if anything happened to it. I don't know if maybe it's just something clicked for some reason, like this time. But I've been pretty much using that the entire time. That and
wow.
I don't know. It just became, it's like some sort of weird mixture of like SMG and auto rifle, you know? It's like, it kind of fits that range. I've been just pairing it with Vigilance Wing for the majority of this morning.
One time I played.
And it just feels really majority of that like 2 hours.
5 games.
It does feel
like
really
7.
good pairing those guns. Like I feel like with this update you can do a little bit more pairing that feels really nice, whether it's hand cannon and pulse or like auto rifle and SMG. Like you were saying, there's just stuff that goes really well together now after the update, I feel like. And you can mix and match a ton of different things and it still feels really good. So, and I want to say, we talked about hand cannons a second ago, but it feels, I was wondering about this, but if the in-air accuracy would be improved due to like aim assist being improved for hand cannons. And while it isn't great still, like there's still stuff when I'm in the air, I'm still missing shots. There are clips that I get now that I'm like, whoa, I would have never got that before. It was like my first shot and it just finished that guy off in the air. And so especially hand cannons that have that on your first shot initial accuracy increase, I feel like it helps a lot, hand cannons that have that. And so that's been fun on hand cannons too. That's probably my last thing with weapons, but I really enjoyed it.
Better Devils.
What was disappointing?
I still don't like it.
Oh.
Really?
Have you never liked it?
I still think it feels really good. It feels crispy. I don't know. I don't have the skill to use a dire promise. I was watching your stream a little bit earlier, and the shots you were hitting, I couldn't hit. I know that. I understand that. I tried a few games with it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have that. When I switched to Better Devils, I was hitting those shots. I don't know. I don't know if it's just a recoil.
In all honesty, like I think it's one of those things we've talked about in the past on shows. Like it's a combination of like the stats, but not only that, but like the sound and some of the stuff. Like for some reason, it just doesn't feel.
Yeah.
Like it could be the exact same gun and you change the sound, and it like feels different to different people. Like that. Like it. Yeah.
To different people.
Absolutely.
That's the key word.
Yeah.
Just.
So you never liked Better Devils, like since start, really? Because it's kind of funny because
PvE,
for me,
I like it.
For PvE, that's actually one of my main weapons. Yeah, strange enough. Even for the raid, it's just for some reason it just felt good. But like, I didn't like any other hand cannon except for Better Devils. Like, in this current game, it's weird. I don't know. And until I went to PC, which was the Sunshot.
Sunshot
strangely,
doesn't feel good to
that
me.
Was. Ooh. No, I don't like it on console, but on mouse and keyboard, it felt amazing for some reason. I don't know. All sorts of strange. I can't explain it. But things and stuff.
It's cool. It is cool to hear different people having different interests, and I think that's the way Destiny is built. to where like different people can try one gun and somebody comes really attached to this kind and somebody comes really attached to this one because of stuff like Hove said, the sound or the feel of it or the aim assist. It's hidden stats that you don't even see handling. And so I feel like that is one of my favorite things about Destiny, and it feels like that's coming even more into the light with the latest patch and with like the way the game is heading, because I feel like we had a lot of that in D1 and it's like becoming even more now in D2 since some of these things have been updated.
Surprisingly positive gun that if you don't have it, you should go get it, especially soon, is the Drang.
Should we move into
and why is
I thought
that?
Lego would segue here.
That was smooth.
There we go.
In the TWAB, we got some new info about Strum and
Strum
and Drang. Stream? No, Strum. Strum and Drang and Hope Sturm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't read.
You're confusing me, man.
No, that was for chat. I don't know if you just ignore whatever's going on over here.
That was for Hobie.
Hope, tell me a little bit why you like it now.
Because it's good. I don't know.
And
In all seriousness, right now I don't like
stuff.
using it with Sturm. Because I don't like Sturm. I can't use Sturm, but like just Drang by itself feels really good to me for some reason. I don't know. I kill people with it. I don't know. It feels good. I don't know.
That's a reason.
Simple. Simple.
Well, so to go for that, like if you like killing people with it, then in a future update, you might like killing people in tandem with both of them
I don't
together.
have the TWAB up.
Because
So
they
Lego
might
has
work
to do
better
this part.
together a little bit.
Yeah, it's very
No, I
obvious.
love
Only,
this.
some people read it.
I've read
and
it.
watched those videos, and some...
That video was actually really.
What was it? The
That
second
video
headshot
was
was
awesome.
doing like
Yeah.
137.
Do you see who was playing?
Was it Oryx? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Oryx. It said Oryx BNG. So Christopher Bear, we see you. We see you.
That was smooth, Lego.
But no, I think it's awesome that they they've got those weapons. Actually, there's a reason to use them other than them just reloading each other, because it was kind of just like, a fun little thing, but it didn't actually help you a whole lot. And now they're actually increasing the damage by, what was it, like 1.8 once you get those extra clips. Exactly. And so now once it's overloaded, you can two-shot people with those overloaded clips. And it looked like it lasts a pretty long time. Like the first guy he killed in the clip, the example they gave, he switched guns, it reloaded it, and there were two perks that activated side by side, and the first one went away pretty quick, and the second one he had to find somebody to kill and then precisely put in his shots and got the two-shot in. And so it looks pretty awesome. It looks like they're doing a really good job with the exotics between that video, what they've said about it, what we heard the previous weeks. They talked about Graviton Lance and Skyburner's Oath. They're improving those two. And so there's a lot of changes coming, but these two in particular look pretty cool. So I'm excited about it.
I liked what they said in the parentheses though, like you gotta hit your shots. Like it's not gonna work for like me going in like, I'll hit you with an hand cannon over there. Like,
but it could help you a lot in PvE though, even if you're not great with your shots.
And I can practice with it. Yeah, we won't get into all that. I know I could be better if I wanted to practice.
Yeah, it sounded like a great combination in concept, but I feel like it just never really followed through, because I think once everybody got it, it seemed like really close together. And then we were like, oh, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yep,
and it was like, I never saw them used again. Yeah, kind of like Rat King.
Still sucks though.
Yeah. Some people really like Rat King for going invisible, I think, though, since they added that change in there.
If they added more of a range to Rat King, so you didn't have to be so close together, but if everyone on your fire team was using it, no matter the range, that could be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the
I'd like
quest
to see
line
really
for Thermit Drang? Was that one of the annoying ones? One of those quest lines to get was really... I know the Rat King sucked.
It was one of the same type of quest lines that you got Mida
I didn't think
and
that one was
Mini.
bad because I got it. Rat King was the
was the bad
Sturm
one.
and Drang weren't that bad, actually.
Okay, that wasn't the bad one? I know the Rat King was the bad one.
Rat King was kind of annoying at the end, but yeah.
Yeah. The with Sturm and Drang, the thing with those ones was like it was exactly like you said. There wasn't really a reason to use it, and so the first time I got them, I remember running around in patrol, and I was like, "Oh, look at this! I can reload and shoot this enemy and reload." And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm never gonna use."
I
this
used
again.
it in TV right away and thought it was really cool.
Exactly.
This isn't all that cool.
Actually, I think I used it to infuse because they dropped at like a really high level at that point, and I was like,
Yeah.
this might be good infusion fodder, and I'll get them again on another character. All right, cool.
Some other stuff that they talked about in the TWAB, one of them was and these are all small things, but some of them are kind of cool. The companion app update is coming later. They didn't say when it was coming, but they're putting 3D models back into the app so you can like preview your character if you're into how you look or you're trying to customize something in particular. And then secondly, there's more stuff. I'm just putting kind of the highlights. One of the other things that really stuck out to me though was they're letting you see what vendors are selling like at the tower or on planets, which isn't in there right now. And I know that was something that Dim used, I think, to like get information from to show vendor info on their side, like Destiny Item Manager, the plugin. And so I would use that sometimes if I was like, oh, I wonder what this person's selling since they rotate now, or, you know, especially like Iron Banner and stuff like that. Like you couldn't see it in the app. And I don't know, it was kind of useful, and it isn't in Destiny 2. And so to see those things coming out, I'm like kind of excited for that, really, which is such a small thing, but I used to use it all the time.
Am I mistaken? Didn't they have that in D1?
The D1
as well?
Yeah.
app companion had it, yeah.
Yeah, had that. Yeah, I would always like every Tuesday be like, all right, what do we got? Just to check it out and see if there was anything, especially like in the early days when they started, you know, really selling some good stuff. Everyone was like, oh my God, God roll sidearm with, you know, Future War Cult this week.
Or to even see what Xur's selling, like instead of, because sometimes like Planet Destiny, I think was the main one that kept showing up on my Twitter feed, and they would just post the pictures, but they wouldn't say what it was. And I was like, wait, what is that one? I can't remember. I was like, I wish I could just open the app and see what Xur is selling, but it wasn't even on there.
So, and it would come up immediately.
I guess. Reddit.
I liked having to scroll through Twitter for 5 seconds to find it. So that was my Friday morning surprise.
Let's see. There was one more thing with the TWAB or two more things with the TWAB that were really big. One is a new Bungie bounty, which they haven't done in a while. This Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, a bunch of the Bungie people are going to be doing Mayhem when that comes around for the weekly thing. Which, okay, I got a positive and a negative here. I'm super. This just reminded me of something that I didn't talk about earlier. But a positive is that, hey, we're doing the Bungie bounty again. That's cool. But a negative is, man, I just really want Rumble to be a full-time thing. Like, it's such a bummer to me that, like, it's drawing me back in so much that there hasn't been nights where I've just been like, man, I really just want to go play Destiny. And Rumble has done that to me. Like, it's like, I really want to jump on and play after this. But right now, like, if that's going to be taken away, like, I love Mayhem too, but am I going to feel the same way about Iron Banner 6v6 as I do Mayhem and Rumble? I don't know. I'm just bummed that I can't just go play Rumble all the time. And I'm sad that they're taking it away. I don't know. I just thought it was worth mentioning. You don't feel the same way? Like you wish that it was a constant playlist? You don't feel that at all?
But I don't know. As I'm sure anyone who listens to this realizes, for the most part, like if I bitch, I'm generally kidding. Like I'm pretty easy to please. Like give me something to do and like whatever.
Loki, I saw you about to say something.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask, what were your thoughts on the 8-player Rumble?
Yes. We didn't get to talk about that. So at first it was really difficult for me. Like I got in and I was like, oh my gosh, like people are stealing my kills, and then I'm getting team shot every time I run out, or the spawns obviously like are the main thing that need work. Like, because Hove has a clip, which if you haven't seen this, you need to go watch it because it's hilariously bad. Hove isn't bad. Just what happens is bad. Hove spawns in and somebody else spawns in directly on him at the exact same time. Yeah, and he turns around and they're both invincible, and so they can't kill each other at first, and then they can, and it's just like the most ridiculous, also derpy battle.
I still
Yeah, I was hearing that.
Yeah, it's like he does this all the time. He's bad at his job. They
okay.
need to. I mean, a lot of people are saying cut it down to 6. I'd like to see them just work with spawns first because it seems like spawns in general right now are a little off.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like. Go ahead.
Yeah.
2-second respawn.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Turn that down a little bit.
That needs to go away. I think if they're gonna stick with 8, they need to make that respawn a little more longer so they can figure out where those people are gonna respawn.
Yeah.
I was playing a match right before we started recording, and I got killed by a guy who used shotgun, and of course he was a wussy hunter and used his dodge to go invis. I respawned 10 feet in front of him while he was still invisible, somehow managed to kill him. I'm like, how bad is the respawning that you're respawning me right where I died like 2 seconds ago? I'm like, is there nowhere else on this map you could put me?
That's actually the same thing that happened to me earlier. It was on, what map was it? I can't remember, but a guy killed me. I literally spawned right where he's running, like the same guy, and he's still hurt from our last engagement, so I can kill him. I'm just like,
yeah, it's funny because like as I got okay with how fast spawns were happening and how close everyone was spawning to me, like it's funny because the way that I learned to deal with it, and I'm almost not okay with it, I still think it needs changed, but like the easiest way to deal with it is you spawn, you run about 10 steps, and then you just wait for people to spawn around you. Because if you try to run out onto the map and get into another fight, there's going to be someone right behind you fighting you. So your best bet is to like run out, turn around, fight the guy who's about to spawn, then fight the other guy who's spawned in there, and then fight this guy again. It needs work, for sure.
So
it was rough.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's the respawn time that needs change. It's more so like what Hove was saying, the placement of and how tight that they spawn maybe. Because I feel like there are some there's some maps that it works better for and some that it doesn't. Maybe it's the maps that need to be looked at, because I actually really like the game, like I guess the mathematics and the timing of everything right now as far as like how frequently you encounter something. Because if they brought it down to 6, I was watching some of my clips and I was like, man, this would feel so much slower, and it's like just the right pace at 8 for me. And I know it's faster than D1 and I know it feels different, but once you get into a rhythm of like slaying people, basically, it feels so nice. And the main thing is definitely the spawns, and I'm not sure exactly what they can do to fix it, but I feel like Bungie has a way of maneuvering things around to where it could be better and still work for 8 people.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. I was going to ask what maps you were playing on when you had this, because I feel like if you're playing on one of the reworked maps that was in D1, where you were used to having 12 people on a map, it might feel different. But the handful of matches that I played at Rumble were all new maps. So they were smaller, made for 8-person encounters, but where there's 2 teams, not 8 teams. And that always just felt like, okay, I killed this guy, but crap, now there's somebody spawning behind me and I've got half my health. And that is where I feel the issue kind of is. Like it's a little bit off right now with the quick respawn and the 8 people on the smaller map. I'm a little worried about 66 and Iron Banner on these maps as well in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think
the biggest thing, I don't think 6s will be quite as bad, only because of the way team games versus free-for-all games work in general. Because like these maps work okay for 4v4 because you generally have, even if you're not sticking together, you kind of have one team on one side of the map, one team on the other. So there's a lot of free spawn zones. Whereas with 8 people in Rumble, no matter who you spawn by, if you spawn by someone, they're going to shoot you. And I think that's kind of the issue. So 6s will be more crowded, but you'll have, maybe there's 4 people on this side of the map, all in one corner, but they're all your team. It's a safe spawn. Do you know what I mean? Like, the fact that it's 8 different teams of 1 as opposed to 2 teams of 4 does make a big difference, I think. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm with you too, Loki, as far as like, could map design be better and then put this mode like in some bigger maps and it flow better? I think yes. But for what we have now, I feel like this is pretty good. And I feel like if you made respawn time even longer, that it would just like make the problem even more exaggerated with people learning where the spawns are and being able to see exactly, okay, you're going to spawn here. I'm going to be ready for this person to spawn. Whereas the quick spawn times right now make it to where everything happens so fast. And even if you are next to that spawn, somebody else is probably coming in about to kill you. And so you don't really have time to focus on one or the other because everything happens so fast. That's how I feel right now. And I've played a good amount of Rumble since it came out, but I don't know. I just really enjoy the pacing of it right now. I feel like
I agree. My first match, I before I did anything, I am like, all right, I'm gonna go try some new weapons. And oh hey, Rumble, why not? I got my ass handed to me. I mean,
me too.
Like Mana said, I got Taco Bell shit on.
I played one match of Rumble and got destroyed, and it was terrible. I haven't gone back yet.
First, like,
he was like,
so I went back tonight, and I'm like, all right, now that I know what I'm getting into, let me actually use guns that I realize are going to be, more useful. Let me, use, a submachine gun and, something I'm comfortable with. And I managed a second place finish, which is pretty good for me in Rumble. But yeah, it's still getting used to, all right, you finish this fight, well, you better turn around because somebody's going to be right behind you.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Just getting used to those quick engagements and trying to find cover or just something to get out of harm's way.
There's also it's kind of like old school video games where you kind of like you were saying, learn the spawns and learn how fast things happen and know like where people are going to be, also how long they're going to be invincible to not engage them, and know who might come behind you and what your lane is to protect you from an oncoming person versus this new person who's about to spawn. And once you get that stuff down, like you have to play that map a few times in Rumble to learn kind of where everything happens at, and then you really start to do really well. And so D1 had that too. I think everything is just exaggerated in Destiny 2 because of the spawns and because of the amount of people that are spawning in at the same time.
It's map recognition. It really is. And I don't play nearly as much Crucible as I did in D1. Like when I played on Shores of Time, I completely destroyed. I went like 4.0. I think I had a 13 kill streak at one point. And I was like, where is this every game? Like, oh yeah, I know this map like the back of my hand. That's why.
Yeah. Let's see. There was one last thing. I kind of just went over the Bungie bounty, but no one has anything to say about that, dude. Other than I'm excited for Mayhem coming soon because I loved freaking Mayhem.
Mayhem should be fun and more interesting with even the faster supers. I mean, it's going to be
that'd be interesting.
Hammers and dong blades everywhere.
Or no, I think we'll see a lot of arch traders too. I think
we just get a whole lobby of dong blades.
There's gonna be a lot of pole dancers.
In Mayhem, I feel like it's the long distance, being able to kill people.
Goldie's always going to be strong.
Where it's at. Yeah, like golden gun. Yeah. All the solar.
I've really grown fond of hammers just because they kind of function like a fusion rifle. You like have to lead, you have to know when someone's coming around a corner to charge it, and so hammers is kind of like the same. Like you have to know they're coming and throw it as they come at it.
Yeah, he was actually the other night. He was playing, and he was like, "I just love hammer. Like it's like when you land it, you're gonna get a kill. Like it's just
yeah. I think that was a couple matches after I'd been getting killed in my super as a striker, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, let me just try it hammers and see how I do, and it was a world of difference.
Yeah, I like Mana's idea of going all dong blade for an entire team.
Remember, was that you with us, Lego, when we went all? No, you weren't there. We went all Archstriders by accident. Were you there?
Yes, and the new patch.
You were an Archstrider?
Yeah, that was me.
It's like, don't even go for kills, just go for trolling the other team. Just start flying
everyone
past them just as fast
everyone
as you can.
Save your supers, pop them at the same time. Just shoot around.
Exactly. Just try to dodge them as long as possible.
Don't even throw the blades. Just run as fast as you can around the screen.
New minigame right there.
Yes.
Catch the dong blade.
That's the new God damn it, what's the racing league? IRL is gonna be dong blade racing.
Aren't you faster than a sparrow? Isn't that a thing?
That's
now?
Great.
You're like unlimited super. You're just burst glide.
That's it. It's what Hope said. You're faster than an exotic sparrow when you're in
So just get off
Yeah.
your Sparrow, pop your super,
I
and
did
win
think it was.
SRL.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's really interesting how you can get through. I don't know how they were getting through like because when I was using it, I actually tested that, and I was jumping too high in the air. So I don't know if maybe they weren't using burst in that aspect, but
yeah, I don't know. I haven't messed around with it enough to know
Crackly
yet
Lego.
that subclass.
Lego.
Well, actually, that's good because we're done with the TWAB. So does that mean it's time to move on to Mad Libs? Lego, just give me a
Oh, boy,
nod.
yeah.
Give me a nod.
We're doing that.
He looks excited.
And
For anyone who's not watching. All right.
We all know he looks forward to this point.
Titillating audio
So
podcast.
this
over
one
here.
is going to be called. I went to one called Music, and it appears I haven't actually looked at any of them, but I believe it's just lyrics to popular songs, but they're going to replace some of the words. So this is one of the more popular ones. You got 4.5 out of 5
God.
stars.
Popular songs.
The first one is it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. We're gonna start. Let's see. We'll go River, Loki, Triton, Mana, Lego, since Lego's messing with stuff. So first one, pick a different holiday, I guess, other than Christmas.
Halloween.
All right, Loki, verb. My man.
moist.
Triton, verb. Oh yeah, that's not a verb.
Verb?
No, it's not a verb.
Is that a verb? Yeah, I was about to say. It's like
Oh no, sorry.
Just
That's
got-
that's
you got me all
verb
excited.
adjective.
I just
A
went
thing
with-
to do.
he just wanted to go with it. He's like,
You moisturize.
Moisturize is a word.
All right,
Dance.
Triton, another verb.
I don't know. Do I want
Yes.
to make this like terrible, or do I want to?
Our guests say yes.
I'm actually gonna go with skipped. See where that goes.
It's gonna be lame. Mana, verb ending in ing.
thrusting.
Love you. Lego, noun, plural.
Noun plural. Escorts.
Ooh.
Mindy's.
My town.
Mindy's is also acceptable.
Noun, plural. We're gonna go with escorts. We might as well go with prostitutes.
Mindy's?
Strippers.
Oh my
first
gosh.
Holiday. You keep getting all these holidays.
Man, I'm trying to think of it. Nah. St. Patty's Day.
Loki, plural.
Good
noun.
choice.
Nuns.
Oh boy. Oh
Triton.
boy.
Adjective
Wowee.
ending EST. Like fastest, ugliest, smelliest.
I think I used smelly before. We're gonna go tastiest.
Ooh,
Mana,
I like
an
it.
emotion with NESS at the end. Like sad. Yes.
Horniness.
Hey.
Wow.
He's so excited.
One girl
He was
down.
ready.
Lego, you have to choose front, back, or side. That's what it says. Front, back,
Dang
side.
it.
Choose.
Back.
River, adjective. Oh, wait, no, it's my turn. Adjective.
He's looking around the room.
Fishy. Okay, noun.
Ooh. Me? No. Boob.
Person's name, Loki.
Nice.
Cassandra.
Oh, Jesus.
Triton, another person's name.
That was for her and Ganga.
Mindy. Oh man, when Loki didn't go Mindy, I was like, yes, I could get it if it's name.
Plural noun. Chickens.
Lego, person's name.
Shacks.
Me, person's name.
Did we ever name Lego's escort? Just
He's
as a-
not-
Lord
Lord.
Shacks.
Yes, I have person's name, and Lego's escort is named.
Crystal.
Lola.
Like blue microphones. Lola headphones.
Family member uncle? Doesn't that already give it? I don't understand.
Yeah. Do you have to name the uncle?
The next two are family member uncle. Oh, no. I think
That's
uncle
me?
is a example. Yeah, family member.
Oh.
Just like
So
the
I have
type
to
of
name a
family
family
uncle,
member.
Aunt.
Step
Loki,
brother.
another family
We're
member.
going Game of Thrones here.
We're going Pornhub here. Let's be honest.
Oh, stepmom.
Sounds like stepmom and stepbrother right next to each other. I don't know. Triton, activity,
They are
church,
Pornhub.
ballet, school. There's the examples.
Like strip clubbing is not is that an activity? Can we
Clubbing.
Okay.
Clubbing.
Clubbing.
Mana, another holiday.
I'll accept it.
Another holiday.
Are you sure this isn't the
Easter.
same
Holiday
holiday?
time.
Okay.
I feel like the last time the boxing or whatever, we should have used 1 or 2
Yep.
names.
Yep.
Wait,
Because my guy didn't do anything.
What
He
was
got
your-
another
did you pick a
loss on
holiday?
his like card.
yeah, Easter.
Me? Easter.
Lego verb.
Skating.
Those are
Or skate?
same. Noun.
Skate?
For me.
He's playing I Spy in his room.
Longest
Yeah,
match.
before the green screen, Ho
I
had,
know,
every
Ho was,
episode
like,
was like trying to figure
or
out what
Raleigh,
was hanging
like,
around in
used
Ho's
those.
room.
Aren't there some
I
puppets
think
out there?
Raleigh
or-
just ate
Blowfish?
some beer.
Clowns.
Rally's
Oh,
a good
yeah,
friend.
that's what it was.
Um,
Nautical theme,
adjective,
yeah.
River. About 2 more rounds, by the way.
Slick.
Loki, any place. And then it says baseball field, etc. So just anything.
I like that specific
Beach.
Say thick house.
Triton,
Oh.
adjective.
Beach.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go with
Can you
diaphanous.
spell that, please?
I'll text it to you.
Well, in the meantime,
Mana,
you just want
earthly
to
substance,
continue.
wind, rain, fire, dust. Or like the... I don't...
Just the elements is just like,
Dust is not an
or
element.
is it just anything earthly? It could be. It's earth.
So like void, solar, arc.
Exactly. There's
Wait, so
some
what was
elements.
the actual
Fire,
earthly
fire,
substance?
wind.
Earthly
Triton, I'm
sub-
not using diaphanous.
So just
I know.
Oh, you suck. I just texted it to you.
I would go to your game roots. I don't know.
That's not an
Pond.
earthly... Water.
water.
Triton, I need
What,
your
water
real
is
adjective.
okay. I don't know. That was weird.
Okay, well, like diaphanous, you could use to describe. That's like a thin thing. You could use it to describe like a
Like a
Oh,
condom.
okay.
thin condom. Exactly.
Lego, another holiday.
All right. Well,
Ah.
Lego's birthday.
President's Day.
Noun plural for me. Just so you know, this one came to my mind instead of looking around. Dildos. It's not because I was looking around.
yeah. I mean, like dildos a couple times for plural never came.
He actually has a shelf of them.
Yeah.
One more,
Right.
one more
The
round.
secret is safe with us.
Right.
For
No one's listening. It's
verb
okay.
Aggressive.
River.
Stroke.
Loki, noun.
Nice.
But
Triton verb.
There's
and
a
mana,
lot of rounds.
organ of body.
We already
Oh,
used
boy.
thrusted, right?
Caress.
Let's use
and
caress
organ.
then.
Pancreas.
All right, here we go.
Nice.
I'm not singing it, by the way.
Oh,
Here's the best part.
That's
The
like
title,
already
the,
ruined
the
it.
title
What's the
doesn't
title?
change, so it's
Scrap
called
it.
It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. And it starts out, it's beginning to look a lot like Halloween. Everyone
Yeah.
take a
Nightmare
skip
Before Christmas?
in the 5 and 10, thrusting once again with with candy escorts and silver prostitutes aglow. It's beginning to look a lot like St. Patty's Day. Nuns in every store. But the tastiest sight to see is the horniness that will be on your own back door. Oh, God. A pair of fishy boots and a boob... A pair of fishy boots and a boob that shoots is the wish of Cassandra and Mindy. Chickens that will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Shax and Lola. And stepbrother and stepmom can hardly wait for strip clubbing to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Easter. Everywhere you skate. There's a blowfish in the Slick Hotel, one in the beach as well, the diaphanous kind that doesn't mind the water. It's beginning to look a lot like President's Day. Soon, the dildos will start. And the thing that will make them stroke is the butt that you caress. Right within your pancreas. Ta-da!
How did so many of those syllables work out?
Right?
That's what I don't understand.
So
That was way too good.
my two favorite parts
man.
We
are...
rocked it.
No, it's all one. No, there's two good. Two good ones. The tastiest sight to see is the horniness that will be on your own back door. That was a good one. And then right into a pair of fishy boots and a boob that shoots is the wish of Cassandra and Mindy.
I don't know. There was something to do with a stepmom and stepbrother doing something there that
Chickens
worked really well too. I don't know.
Yeah,
They were
that
getting
was-
ready to go to.
They were talking about
Strip
Those with
club.
like the starts to strokes with your butt or
Chickens
whatever.
that will
We're going
talk
to
and will
strip
go for
club
a
or
walk is the
something.
hope
I
of
don't know.
Shax and Lola. And stepbrother and stepmother can hardly wait for clubbing to start again. Strip clubbing to start again.
Yes.
I think I've seen that video.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
It's a classic. Who has it?
I mean, it's a remake. They do it all the time.
It's a yeah, true. One every couple months. It's like a Spider-Man movie. Once every so often.
Well, River and Loki, thank you for joining us this week. We really appreciate y'all coming out.
Did you guys
Thank
see?
you. Yeah, that was a blast.
They did a.
Yeah.
They did the Infinity War
Oh.
trailer remade with Deadpool as a character. It's just like
Are you serious?
some random
Oh, man,
person
I'm
just
right
like
there, too.
photoshopped Deadpool on like the head of almost every character as they're talking, and he does the voices, so it doesn't quite sound like Ryan Reynolds, but it's still pretty funny.
Nice. Ryan Reynolds is
I'm
awesome.
gonna have to look for that.
We just
How
we
was
just
it?
saw a Ready Player One last night. It was fucking
Oh, was it good?
amazing. It was really good.
Oh, nice.
Really?
I mean, they changed a lot. They changed some things from the book because the book is like kind of really slow in the beginning. So they changed.
Set it up a bit.
They changed. Spoiler alert. They changed the first key. I won't say what they changed it to, but it suited well for the movie. So
It was full of feels. It was a fun movie.
it was
I
a
mean,
fun. It was
so
funny.
entertaining.
It was a really enjoyable movie.
How old is the actual book? And did they update things?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that nowadays game?
I mean,
Eleven?
Trencher's in it.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of newer references that weren't in the book.
All right. That's what I thought
Yeah,
because
I mean,
I wasn't
Tracer's in
familiar
the
with the
movie.
book at all.
Yeah, we read the book a few years ago. So
Oh, your voice is all sorts
Yeah,
of
it's your fault now.
Yeah,
Oh.
it is. Fired.
thanks, Hope.
You've been terrible
Fuck
though,
off.
so don't feel that bad.
Well, it's,
I
I don't think he's even sure what
What's
to
wrong?
do.
Wait, damn it!
You
I
did
meant
it
to
because
use
you're a
loofah. I
cheater.
don't think I ever got a noun though on my turn. Did I ever get? What's?
Oh, man, yeah, who
we
won?
can't even hear
I
one,
used
though.
all three of mine.
But here's the
You
thing.
guys used them really quick.
Here's the issue.
I think I
gave
used all
Triton
three of
three
mine,
words
like,
to use, and he
super
didn't
quick.
even say 3 words the whole podcast, so he didn't have a chance.
What are you talking about?
I know.
That's why
I
it's been
I
typing
got
them.
mine in. I got mine in somehow. I didn't
I
know how
typed
was
mine
gonna,
in the
but
chat.
Mine was sketchy, but I somehow got him in.
The Taco Bell one was really good.
I've got
That one I had down. I knew I was going to say that one.
Wait,
but
yeah,
the
did you use all
dolphin
yours,
and the
Dolphoodle.
I've got one more to use, but I'm saving it for
That's
the
what I
end.
should have used for my now.
Yes, the
Dolphin.
Dolphoodle.
Yeah, see, I
Yeah.
didn't know we were gonna
I
play Mad
always
Libs
play
too.
Mad
I
Libs.
was
Never expect to
saved
not play Mad
2 of
Libs.
them. Well, I don't know.
That was a
Popeye the
good
Sailor
one.
Man
I'm
was
proud
pretty
of you.
hard to use, to be honest with you.
You did it good though,
I
Triton. You
did
it
try
good.
to integrate it, but it's like I feel like everyone knows I would never say that. So
Oh no, it could have been like, oh man, when I popped my super, I felt like Popeye the Sailor Man.
You're going to
That's
say
how I tried to
Superman?
use it, but I was using
Superman, yeah.
golden gun that killed nobody. So
Popeye the Superman.
I got handed to you, fellatio. I had no idea how to get like the way
Well, the
I
best
said
part
it
is-
is the only. I just went.
And
For
I
it.
fucking
I
missed
was
it.
telling
I'm
some-
like, all of a sudden, you guys are all dying.
I was
and
telling
I'm like,
somebody that like
What?
I don't even remember who it was. I even knew you guys when we were playing earlier, and I was like, yeah, like I'm probably gonna. It'll be really funny to.
You were going to
No,
give Triton
no, I was not
fellatio.
going to
You were
give
saying
Triton
that to me.
fellatio. I was gonna make him say that word.
that's a good
Let's
thing.
rephrase, yes.
For the record.
All
All right, I can't.
This is the
This
part of the
is- this is
podcast
where I
that
needed
is
it.
cut out. I'm guessing.
Yes, this is the.
Although
Yeah.
I heard from Lego, he says he does no editing. So
Which
It's true.
When I realized you guys don't do like show notes, I was even more impressed, to be honest, because you guys just always seem to be just kind of like on point and like know what you're getting ready to say like to that topic. When
Lego
Hope told
has
me
some
that, I was like,
general what we
wow,
want to talk
that's
about. but
Impressive.
yeah,
The
generally
rest of us
Yeah,
don't.
it's Lego and Hope, and then and Triton and I just kind of sit back. We're the diversity in the
What
group,
am-
so we should.
How am I diverse?
diverse in thought,
Well,
Hove. You're like that group of diverse in thought.
Yeah, well, that one word, the really smart sounding word, only in your mind.
Yeah.
Ding.
Ding. No, but for real, River and Loki, y'all. It seemed like y'all had show notes. Y'all flowed so well, so I didn't
thank you.
notice anything. Yeah.
Did our homework. Did our homework a bit. We wanted to be prepared. So
I
I
can
want to
tell.
talk about Animal Crossing for like 30 minutes. That could have been. I could have just talked about that forever.
I
Wow.
mean, I'm ready to like.
I know the reset wasn't that
Shit,
long
I mean,
ago.
no, at like 10 was when all my animals reset. I need to
Wow.
go like attend to their
Wait, can you
needs.
guys on mobile? Can you guys like visit each other's town?
Yeah, we
Like,
do. We visit each other.
We visit each other's camps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mia K doesn't care about your stupid little game.
right.
She plays Fortnite.
Best
Right,
friends. She
That's right.
tweeted out like, "Oh my Beats don't work with my PlayStation 4. I need some new headsets. Does anyone have any suggestions?" And I was like, "Make sure to go to Blue Microphones and use code RezoCast for a discount." And she did not answer me.
Which, by the way,
God.
if you're listening and you've been waiting
Oh,
for
yeah,
a
it is
RezoCast
live.
discount code, it now works. You can go to
works.
bluemic.com and
So
use
how much-
RezoCast as the discount code.
Tommy
How much do we
returned
get
your
off- how
money
much do they
and
get
now
off
use our
Lego?
code.
I can't.
It's 20%.
I think it's 15%, right?
20%.
20. Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good deal.
Well, go grab it.
15.
Yeah, exactly. Do it now.
I was
Well,
going to say something really inappropriate because he asked how much do they
How
get
much? How much,
I
man?
was, it was going through my mind.
Ready?
I was really close.
I
How
was,
did I miss that?
How much
I
do
never
you
miss
get
shit
off,
like
man?
that. I mean, my mind is constantly in the
we
gutter.
both have the minds of a 12-year-old, so we usually just
I can't say this on stream. I might get fired. Okay, I don't want to get
Should we
fired.
stop stream. Should we
From
say
Lego
goodbye?
tried to
Should we
fire
say
me.
goodbye?
okay. Well, this has been RezoCast.
Yeah.
Episode 79. Thanks for joining us. This has been Lego, aka Lego Flash. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Lego LE Flash. Hove, where can they find
He doesn't remember.
you?
like,
He
oh,
doesn't.
find
He
me
doesn't
at
know.
Twitter and Twitter and Twitch. I don't know what's happening right now.
He was looking at
Um,
Mindy K pictures. That's what
I don't know. You can
is
find
there
me
rain?
on Twitter and Twitch and doing Mad Libs and playing word insertion. I don't know. Hove76, HOV76 everywhere.
Man,
I'm bad at this
Awesome
anymore.
slumped.
I'm so
I don't know.
confused. Mana?
Oh, hey, hi.
Triton.
Oh, he skipped Triton.
Yeah, what the fuck? No, I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm just, you can't find me anywhere. I'm not, in, Go ahead.
find him in Pocket Camp.
Yeah, you can't find me in Pocket Camp.
Why, Hove?
What happened?
I love it.
What are we doing?
It's your turn.
Oh, is it me now?
Yes, it's
He's
yours.
letting you go.
Yeah, just
I'm
go.
so
Just
confused.
go
I didn't know
ahead.
what was happening. There were people in chat and they
Yeah,
were
I can wait.
talking and people saying hello, and I got confused.
I know.
Bad
BA
ass
says
gamer.
hi. I'm not
Can you
sure what
read?
that means. Is this a raid?
God.
Is it Badass Gaming? Oh, I'm sorry. I just now saw it. Actually, I just it's like BA.
Okay, well, we won't skip Triton.
Me.
Where can they find you?
Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, all under Triton. Please be in Kill Z. And you also can find me on the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. That's my share code. If you're watching, you can have me. Only if you stock your market box though, because if you don't, I will.
Can I
unfriend
stock
you
your
fast.
box?
I'll be honest.
Okay.
You can. You can
I
actually
can't.
stock it right
I have to
after
work
this.
early tomorrow. I can't go get food.
Wow.
That's quite an invitation.
It doesn't take you that long,
Yeah.
though,
What
to
are you-
be honest.
what are you
so.
saying here?
Whoa.
Wow. What's happening?
Okay, moving
don't
on to
know.
Mana.
What is going on?
I don't know. I think
I don't know.
I think he got all excited.
Apparently
about your
Mindy's out of the
surprise
picture.
fellatio earlier.
I was going to say it, man. Anyways, you can find me at Twitch. Always Twitch. Every single day on Twitch at the Manigator. Twitter, I'm very active. I post everything there. The Manigator.
Why are you staring into my soul
YouTube
right now while
at
you're
the
doing
Manigator.
that?
It's just
But you're
because
staring
I
at
like
the
making
camera.
eye contact.
Isn't that awkward though? No, in all seriousness, like if
I
you
think-
try to like look at someone and look into their eyes, you know that you're on their screen, you're looking away from them. But if you stare at the camera, you know that you're staring. It's so weird.
He's like, you right there.
Wait,
I need a screenshot. What River and Loki just did. That was amazing.
Shit, that was the one thing I didn't want to become this entire episode was a screenshot.
It's a
of
meme.
everything.
A screenshot.
What
I was like, that was my goal.
What I meant.
Well,
What happened? I was looking at my camera.
That's totally gonna be the cover photo of the episode.
I don't even know what happened. Well, anyway.
All of us were staring at our camera though. Is it my
Loki and
turn?
River.
All right. Yes. So hi, I'm. You can find me on Twitter at RiverTamKat. RiverTamKat. That's basically where you can find me. Oh, I tried to bring up my Pocket Camp friend code, but I don't have it.
I
So.
wish I could mute her when she talks about Pocket Camp.
It's the amazing game.
But on Twitter, yeah, RiverTamKat. RiverTamKat. That's it.
And I'm on Twitter at Loki Kills Off.
until Infinity
Which is
War,
like
because
the
Loki's
least-
gonna die.
Accurate.
Yeah,
Twitter handle.
we're old. We don't stream. we don't stream.
That's
We don't-
fine.
We
Neither
don't
do
get
we.
into the stream life.
Man, we're told.
Except Mana.
Apparently.
This is
I
the
streamed
extent of
like
streaming.
6 times. I streamed today, even.
You streamed like 6 times in the past month.
I know. That was the first time I actually saw you like streaming
Yeah.
when I was actually like awake.
I rated him once.
Stop staring at me.
Oh yeah, you did. Well, you guys should for sure go check out RiverTamKat and Loki on their Twitters because they're cool hangs. So you should do it
Yay.
regardless. And you can find more about Team Resolute at Team Resolute on Twitter at Team Resolute, and you should add RezoCast at RezoCast to know when we're doing things and get discount codes from Blue Microphones and Headphones, who are the best, who are sponsoring this podcast. So thank you. Use discount code RezoCast at BlueMic.com.
20% off.
And I
You
think
haven't
that's it
used all
for
your
the show.
words for
This
conversation penetration.
Wait! I was gonna say, just wait a second.
Don't you
and so
yell
I was
at
gonna
me.
say,
You're not my real
I'm gonna
dad.
keep-
Know your
but
goals,
I want to
son.
keep. I'm excited for the next few days because I'm gonna keep these guys on speed dial to
Oh,
finally
that
get
was
some
so
games in
bad.
with Destiny with these guys because I missed out. Well, how else am I supposed to throw it in? Ding. But yeah, does anybody else have
I do.
anything else to add? I think that's. Yeah, I
Lego's
think
third word was speed down. It took the whole episode.
I got
to say
in.
it?
I got
Come
in.
on.
What was that word?
I had loofah. Like, when do you use loofah? I mean,
Mana word.
it's like it's speed.
Splatoon.
I had to.
Splatoon.
Wait,
Are
Lufa
you
would
fucking
be
kidding
like,
me? Splatoon.
I had to
Splatoon
work
the
so
last
hard
100
in
years?
this
Really?
PvP match. I was like scrubbing that guy's back with a loofah. That's how hard I worked in that PvP match.
That was just two.
That was
Those
amazing.
two strikes we ran yesterday.
There was some times I thought about bringing it up. I was like, well, I was gonna think like when they said like Tinks laid on or like slept on the futon. I was like, well, did she leave her loofah? I'm like, that's gonna fail.
See,
She left a
So-
sock. I mean, I'm
Oh.
not. I still.
I
Have
have
a
an
sock.
idea.
There was no in for that. Then I'm thinking the only person that
I
used
have an
one is
idea to
probably
step
Lego.
up.
So I put it in chat.
Yeah,
Protractor. Protractor.
Oh yeah, he fucking.
Protractor?
me on that
Protractor was great.
When was the last time anyone here used a protractor? I mean, what the fuck?
That was amazing.
Almost
Parallelogram's
on
such
point
a
with
good word.
parallelogram.
Also, you're right. Lego
Oh.
definitely uses a loofah. That's for sure. I don't know that like for a fact, but like look at him. He definitely uses a loofah. I mean that in all with all positivity.
I was gonna take a
Yeah.
poll.
His skin is so beautiful and shiny.
Just look at him.
He definitely uses
He looks like a baby's butt.
Well, I would
No,
do a
wait.
podcast
I
before
have-
we get any further into
I have
the
a way
details
to
of my
really
screen.
step up the conversation penetration game for next week. So here's how it works next week. From
Okay.
now on.
well-
Tell me what you think. And chat, you can let me know too.
Oh God.
So
Oh, no.
what it is you have to work these words in without anyone knowing. If anyone calls you on it, you have to drink. If they call you on it and they're wrong, they have to drink. And if you get through and no one calls you on it, everyone else drinks.
Oh.
It seems a
That's pretty
lot
good.
to keep up with. And also, like, what are people drinking?
Shots.
I mean, most of y'all are drinking coffee.
Shots of
I've been out for
151.
I mean, I'm drinking vodka, but
Oh,
I'm down.
all of you and poor Lego would be like,
Right down the street. I can go get some.
Probably
Lego's like,
on, that sounds like a
nah,
good time.
I'm trying to get this shit.
inside voice.
Yeah, I try.
We can
Those guys
work out
tea.
something. We'll work out the details later. But until next, guys, everyone, we'll see y'all next time. Until next time, guys. GG.
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 Surprise read.
Surprise.
Surprise something.